Allmendinger rips Childress engines, and another post-race DQ drags down an all-time great finish. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Happy Monday, folks. Today, we're going to expand on a couple of stories from this past weekend. If you're looking for my full Kansas Cup Series race recap, click right up here or click the link down in the description below. We talk Kyle Larson, drivers like Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Josh Berry, Kyle Busch, and more running into trouble. Be sure to check out my last episode for the full Kansas Cup race breakdown. But today, we're going to begin with Saturday night's Craftsman Truck Series Classic. The finish had everything. The young, polarizing Cup star Carson Hocevar trying to steal a win away from the truck regulars versus an up-and-coming, blue-collar, second-generation racer Layne Riggs charging hard at the finish. Riggs gives Hocevar a nudge, they save it, Carson flips him the finger as they cross the checkered flag. Good stuff. Great race, great drama all around, but once again, the post-race inspection slaughterhouse claimed another victim. Layne Riggs failed post-race truck inspection after inspectors found an issue with the truck bed. They cited Rule 14.4.9.a.3, which says the bed cover material must be strong enough to prevent the cover from deflecting or sagging and must be sealed around the perimeter of all bed panels while the vehicle is in competition. Layne Riggs' second place finish was disqualified. As a result, he drops to 9th in the Craftsman Truck Series standings. This is so tiresome. From Parker Kligerman's Daytona win getting disqualified to Jesse Love's Rockingham win, erased. Joey Logano, Ryan Preece, top 5 Talladega runs taken away. This is exhausting. And I'm not sure there's anyone to blame. Like, pretty much every contending team in the Truck and Xfinity series is pushing the limits of what's legal. That's how you stay competitive. Naturally, sometimes you're going to overstep. Have the teams become sloppier this season? Maybe, but it would be wrong to blame the teams for pushing the limits of what's legal. And I don't know that we can blame NASCAR. NASCAR has to make these calls. It's their job to uphold the rules in the rule book. Sure, maybe there's more they can do on Friday, Saturday to inspect these cars and trucks pre-race and maybe catch some of these infractions before they hit the track. But both time and manpower are limited early in the weekend with all these different sessions on track with multiple series needing all their cars to go through tech. Like, it's difficult. Sure, NASCAR was able to expedite the post-race process a few years ago. Maybe there's a way they can create a more thorough pre-race tech process, but I'm just asking the questions here. There may not be a good answer there. So it's hard to blame NASCAR. It's hard to blame the teams. Everyone's just doing their jobs. All I can say is that as a fan, it's frustrating when the finishing results regularly change hours after the checkered flag. Like when fans turn off their TVs, when they exit the grandstands, get in their cars and drive home, they should know exactly who won the race and where their favorite driver finished. Announcing hours later on social media that X driver was disqualified, Y is now the winner, that's terrible content. That is not a good product. Again, it's hard to blame NASCAR. They're just doing their jobs upholding the rule book, especially on the Cup Series side with this spec car. They need to keep the playing field as even as possible or the whole point of a spec car gets thrown out the window. And it's also hard to blame the teams because you have to push the envelope. You have to push the limits of what's legal to be fast, to win races regularly. So it's just unfortunate. It's just a bad product for the fans, unfortunately, and hopefully things get tightened up over the coming weeks and months and we see fewer and fewer disqualifications. There have been too many to start the 2025 season. To wrap things up, Front Row Motorsports confirmed this morning they will not appeal, so Layne Riggs' disqualification will stand. Let's move on and talk Cup. It's funny, last week, after Texas, we were talking about Team Trackhouse's lack of speed. Actually, they were talking about their own speed struggles. We talked about the difference between ECR and Hendrick Chevy engines. Well, what do you know? Today, after Kansas, ECR engines are once again a major story. Just a few weeks ago, AJ Allmendinger finished 9th at Bristol Motor Speedway. He was 14th in the regular season standings, holding on to a Cup Series playoff spot early in the season. But this week, after an engine failure 6 laps into Sunday's race at Kansas knocked him out of the event, AJ Allmendinger now finds himself 25th in the standings, at least 9 positions and 40 plus points outside of a playoff spot. AJ Allmendinger has already suffered 2 terminal engine failures just 12 races into the season. The other came in the season opening Daytona 500. He finished last. But the latest failure this weekend at Kansas led to an all-time AJ Allmendinger radio outburst.
Hey, ECR, you guys suck. I mean, what? You guys.
Ooh, calling out the engine builder by name. Oh, and AJ wasn't done. Once he got to the garage area, the in-car camera picked up his audio in the cockpit, continuing to yell, scream, vent. Man, we know AJ Allmendinger is a very passionate guy. We all see it when he wins races, but unfortunately, when things go wrong, that passion can turn quickly into anger. I'll start with this. AJ Allmendinger's frustrations are entirely justified. He has done a lot with that car this season. Coming into the season, I think expectations for Colleague were down here, but AJ Allmendinger scored top 10s at Las Vegas, Homestead Miami Speedway, and the aforementioned Bristol. AJ has routinely punched above his weight class so far this season. Again, just a few weeks ago, he was in a playoff spot. To have multiple engine failures, which obviously the driver has no control over, take you out of races and plummet you down the standings is extremely disheartening. His frustration, his anger is 100% justified. But AJ Allmendinger has been in this business long enough. You need to be careful about when you press the button. I mean, if you watch the broadcast, you probably noticed that Fox pretty quickly cut his audio off the broadcast when he started venting about ECR specifically. ECR engines are obviously one of the most important partners Colleague Racing has. You can't trash them publicly like that. Some on social media brought up a few years ago when Kyle Busch was forced to apologize after he trashed TRD engines over the radio. AJ Allmendinger needs to be careful. Colleague Racing, unfortunately, now is in probably an awkward spot. There are going to be some awkward meetings this week if they haven't already happened. I think this will all blow over, but AJ Allmendinger's been in this business long enough. You gotta be careful about when you key up the microphone. Now, let's dig a little deeper. I don't think AJ Allmendinger handled himself professionally in that moment, but I understand the frustration. And when you think about how Ross Chastain multiple times in the last week criticized Team Trackhouse's speed, Trackhouse also uses ECR engines, it makes you wonder if there's a larger issue within the Chevy camp, or if multiple Chevy drivers, specifically those on Richard Childress Racing or Trackhouse or Colleague, is there widespread frustration that their engines are no match for fellow Chevy engines coming from the Hendrick shop. Remember, towards the end of 2020, Chevrolet put out a bulletin saying, hey, Hendrick and ECR are going to combine their notes, combine their research to collectively build the optimal Chevy NASCAR engine. And shortly after that announcement, Chase Elliott won the 2020 title in a Chevy. The next year, Kyle Larson won 10 races and the championship again in a Chevrolet. 2022, the first year of the next-gen car, Chevrolet combined to win 19 out of 36 points races. And ECR engines accounted for at least 8 of those. 4 wins out of the Richard Childress Racing camp, 3 from Trackhouse, 1 from Petty GMS, and remember, Ross Chastain, Trackhouse, almost won the title in 2022. But compare 2020, 2021, 2022 to the year 2024. Go back to last year. ECR engines went to victory lane 3 times, and one of those wins, Austin Dillon's win, was encumbered. We're 12 races into the 2025 season, and no ECR cars have made it to victory lane. While Hendrick, of course, is dominating races with Kyle Larson. William Byron won his 2nd straight Daytona 500. Look. I want to be clear. It's not all about the engines. Hendrick Motorsports has so many resources. It's not just the fact that they have a Hendrick power plant under the hood. It's everything. Hendrick Motorsports is really good across the board. The engines are just part of it. But it is an interesting distinction, perhaps. And again, On the heels of Ross Chastain's comments post-Texas, is there speed? Is there reliability concerns? Look, every engine builder has blown up at least once this season. The Roush Yates engines blew up at Homestead with Ryan Blaney. The TRD engines blew up a couple weeks ago at Texas with Denny Hamlin. Hendrick engines, Alex Bowman had a failure at Bristol. Every engine builder in Cup has suffered at least one failure this season, but AJ Allmendinger with an ECR deal has 2 blowups in 12 weeks. So I get his frustration. Is there a broader issue with ECR engines? I don't know, but some of these drivers being more vocal, expressing their disappointment, it's a storyline perhaps to keep an eye on as the season continues. That's all I've got for today, folks. Leave a comment down below. I want to hear your opinions. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe as well while you're down there. Big thank you to my generous Patreon supporters as always. Have a great rest of your Monday, folks. I will talk with you again real soon. Take care, y'all.